Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be making some tool handle wax or some wax oil mix or whatever you want to call this stuff. Over the last few months, I've been using a axe wax. This product that's actually called axe wax on a lot of my tool handles, and I really like it. What this is a mix of oil and wax. A number of different companies that sell variations of this tool wax or handle wax or different names for it, and they're all kind of the same sort of thing. They're a combination of a wax and an oil. Sometimes they throw scents in there. What I'm going to do today is make my own handle wax to use on my axe handles and my shovel handles and rake handles and whatever other wooden handles, knife handles, whatever I've got. I haven't done this before, but the internet says that it's very easy to do and it seems pretty simple. So what I've got here is some beeswax and some pure raw linseed oil. This tin of handle wax, this axe wax, cost $22 for 2 ounces. I paid $14 for 1 pound of beeswax. This is pellets, so it'll melt easier. I bought this linseed oil for $16 for a quart. So these two things combined, about $30, and this was $22. So I can make a lot of little tins this size with these. We just need something to melt the wax in and mix it with the oil. So this is a cocoa tin. That would probably work really well. I'm going to use this jar so we can see it in there a little more easily. Now the internet has told me that the best wax is an exact 50-50 ratio of oil to beeswax. You can also go more wax to oil if you want a thicker, harder wax, or more oil if you want something softer. If you want to just mix it up a little, essential oils, a drop or two if you want to get a nice scent so your tool handles smell nice. I don't know. I'm just going to go with just these two. This wax is little tiny pellets, so they should melt pretty quickly. I'm going to pour them in and fill this jar about halfway, and we'll see. If I was using a metal tin, I would just set it directly on this burner, but I thought this would be a little safer for the glass. The beeswax has finally melted completely, and now I'm going to add the linseed oil. Put the linseed oil in a paper cup so it's easier to pour. We're going to pour it in and stir it in. I have the beeswax up to about halfway on the jar here, and we're just going to pour the linseed oil in to fill it up to the top and kind of stir it in as we go, keeping it on the heat so that the beeswax doesn't start to harden up. All right, seems pretty well mixed. This is gonna sit here all night. We'll come back in the morning once this is cooled off, try it on some tool handles, see how it does.
The next day.
So here is the jar of tool wax or handle wax. It's a lot harder than I was expecting.
That's what she said.
I probably could have done more oil to this. I tried to do about a half and half. I could have done more linseed oil, I think. I think it will still work. But now we just need to try it. There's a couple ways to do this. You can use like a heat gun or a hair dryer and warm the handle up first and then rub the wax oil mix on so that it kind of soaks in. Or you can put it on and then heat it up after. Or you can just put it on and not heat it up. If it's warm enough out, you can set it in the sun. It's really up to you. There's not necessarily a wrong way to use this. I like to use a Scotch-Brite pad. This is just a scouring pad for cleaning dishes. This is a tip I learned from watching woodworking videos. You're using, the friction, the heat from your hands to warm it up, And that scouring pad is just roughing up the fibers just enough to help it penetrate a little bit. So this handle's been used quite a bit outdoors, and it's been, out in wet weather and stuff. So it's a bit muddy and dirty. I brushed off a lot of the dirt. I'm sure more is gonna come up when we do this. So this might get a little dirty, but that's all right. It's been about 15 minutes. Take a towel or a rag or something and just kind of wipe these down and get any excess. Seems to work pretty well. I think if I were to do this again, I would do a more oil than wax, kind of a higher oil to wax ratio. I can always just put the whole jar and melt the whole thing back, add a little more linseed oil, kind of adjust it that way. I've used just a portion of the wax and that oil that I bought. So this jar is gonna last me a long time. I do wish I'd put this in a jam jar or something so it had straight sides. It's gonna be kind of hard to get stuff out of, but hindsight. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. Go do some dad stuff. Weather's looking nice. Mow your yard in your white New Balance shoes or something. I'll see you next time.